Your past, your failures, your regrets are not you. I call these blockages. Blockages exist until you move on from them, until you deal with them, until you realize they aren't your identity. You are not your past. You'll never become who you want to be if you're too attached to who you have been.
Work it all speak for itself. Grinding the sound ain't nothing to tell. When we step on the court, we gon' bring it to light. And we stop and pop like we caught it a light. Stop asking what's wrong with me. You already know there's a dog in me. And there's no stopping my focus, man. Make sure all my people gon' ball with me. Yeah, I came to compete, I'm a dog with it. Yeah, I came to compete with my paws in it.
What's up, CTA family? Welcome back to Wisdom Wednesday. It is such a joy to be here with you again. And I got a quick one for you that is going to blow your mind right now, okay? Hook up with me right now. Stop what you're doing, get present, take a few deep breaths. You'll never become who you want to be if you're too attached to who you've been. You'll never become who you want to be if you're too attached to who you've been. I work with players and mindset clients each and every day and each and every week. And myself included, I struggle with doing what I've always done because it's what I've always done. Or doing what I do today because it's the way I was raised or the way I did it in the past, okay? And let me tell you right now, all right? The past is done and gone. And the Psalms talks about the Lord putting new songs on your heart. You have to be willing to change. We say all the time here at Compete Training Academy, if you're not growing, you're dying. There is no life in between. The scriptures even talk about this, about being lukewarm. That you're on fire, okay, or you're cold. There is no lukewarm, okay? Lukewarm, you don't want to be that, all right? So, I want to encourage you guys today that you are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. I could go down the list, the laundry list in my life of the mistakes, the failures, the regrets that I have, the sins that I have. And what the deceiver, you see, that as we've talked about before here on Wisdom Wednesday, that your mind is the antenna, and that we're in a spiritual battle right now. There are spiritual forces battling right now, and the deceiver is putting thought inside your brain that he wants you to believe. He's throwing fiery arrows at you that you're not enough, that you are your past, that you are your mistakes, that you are the last game-winning shot that you missed, that you are the business failure that you just had. That isn't true. But if we look, that failure is actually your leverage to the new song. All right? We could go down the line. We all have read the books. If you're listening to this podcast, that you're already in an elite group of people because you're trying to grow. Okay? You're trying to better your life. You're trying to chase the true north, the abundant life that God has for your life. But when you look back, right, and you look back at your past history, you can see how God used that past to turn you into something new and use it as the leverage. You had to learn that lesson. Okay? One of my favorite pastors to listen to, his name's Mark Batterson. I believe he failed 3 churches in a row. 3! Could you imagine starting 3 churches and they all fail? They all go under. Don't work. Okay? Now he leads one of the most successful churches in the entire country and has one of the most amazing ministries touching millions of lives. All right? Now, for my wife Courtney and I'm sitting in the Compete Training Academy barn. I can look back on our life, all right? Now, I need to bring my wife in to tell her story and her journey for herself, because it'll be so much more powerful, because she is so much better than I am at telling it. But she didn't get drafted to the WNBA like she thought she was supposed to, okay? For me, I had to hang up the whistle of coaching college basketball. I had 3 interviews in a row where I became runner-up in college basketball jobs. 3. Okay, I just won the national championship at Indiana Wesleyan, applying for head jobs. Bang, bang, bang. Okay? I say, God, what are you trying to do with my life? Okay? I was ticked, if I'm straight up and honest. I actually, full transparency, I took the day off of work. I was so mad. Called in sick. Okay? Called in sick, not going to work, sat in my bed for a day, and was like, what is going on, God? I just won the national championship. I had the references, I had the resume to go do what Jordan wanted to do. But you know what? That's not what God's plan was. Okay? This is why the scriptures say that his ways are higher than your ways, that he can do immeasurably more than you ask or imagine. I'm telling you right now, and I said this a couple Wednesdays ago, that God's dream is so far bigger than the biggest dream that you have for your life. And those failures that I had in my past, okay, they led me to my true north of what Courtney and I are doing with CTA. And I'm telling you here today, we don't judge success here at CTA by the level of players we train, the money that we make. It is, do I feel the fruits of the Spirit while I live out my day-to-day life? So if you're in an occupation right now that you're not feeling the fruits of the Spirit, okay, you're feeling some stress, some anxiety, you just don't have peace. You don't have it, all right? You need to ask yourself why. I'm not saying you need to leave your job or change your occupation. This is between you and God, okay? This is your dream. But you need to ask yourself why, because you're close. This is what I call magnetic north. You're tracking in kind of the right way, but just a tick, you're going to get to true north. So my whole point of today is that your past, your failures, your regrets are not you. I call these blockages. Blockages exist until you move on from them, until you deal with them, until you realize they aren't your identity. You are not your past. You'll never become who you want to be if you're too attached to who you have been. Guys, freedom, the new song on your heart, the abundant life in John 10:10, that's for you. Keep working at getting to that, okay? Don't chase, okay? Don't grind. Now, I like to say all the time, don't grind, just align. Align with God's plan for your life. A lot of people, now I'm not saying you don't have to work hard, okay? Proverbs talks a lot about the ant and how hard the ant works. You got to work at it. But if you feel like you're forcing it right now, okay, that's not how you should feel. Don't push and pull, flow. Don't push and pull, flow. This is how you actively surrender yourself every day. Every morning you wake up, say, hey, Lord, I'm yours. Use me, okay? And this is when, watch, out of, in quote, nowhere, things pop in your life. The right person, the right job opportunity, the right college scholarship, the right moment to speak into somebody's life. When you are at full surrender and you have detached yourself from your past and said, Lord, work a new song in my life today. That is for you. So, I want you to ask yourself, all right? I do this exercise a lot with my mindset training clients. If you're struggling with your past, okay, I want you to ask yourself, what are all the things that my past says I am? And I want you to write them down on a piece of paper. I want you to write them all down. all these things. I could write a laundry list of things down. Failed this, okay? Failed that. Failed this, failed that. I could write them all down. And then I want you to have a nice little bonfire tonight, okay? I want you to rip that paper up, and I want you to throw it in the fire. And that's what Jesus does with your past, okay? It's done. It's dead. It's gone, okay? You are a new creation in Christ. And once you've released your past, okay, you have literally released it. It does not take up energy in your life anymore. Watch how God works in and through that. Watch the new songs that are coming into your heart. You are not your past. You are loved. You are chosen. If this spoke to you, share this with a friend or two. That'd mean more to me than you even know. Guys, thanks for joining me on Wisdom Wednesday. Always remember that competing is doing what God calls you to do, even when it's hard.